Welcome to Learn About Law. My name is Kevin O'Flaherty from O'Flaherty Law. Today, in response to a comment question that somebody left me on one of my other articles, we're going to answer the question of how child support is treated when there's varying income levels or income's inconsistent for reasons of overtime, bonuses, or seasonal work. So typically, according to the current state of child support law that'll be in effect until July 1st, 2017, basically the amount you pay in child support is based on a percentage of your income if you go on child support, depending on the number of kids you have. Under the new law that's going to go into effect on July 1st, 2017, and we have an extensive article about this new law and how it's going to work. Under that new law, the courts are going to take into account both parents' net income to determine how much the obligor parent is going to be required to pay for child support. So the question arises, what happens if a lot of that net income comes from inconsistent overtime or from bonuses that you don't get all the time or from seasonal work? So you might have, for example, an accountant might have a busy season where they make a lot of money and then over the summer nothing happens and they're not making any money. So how does the court account for that? There are three ways that the court currently accounts for that. And the court will use one or two of these methods based on what's appropriate for the particular circumstances. Method one is to take a historical average. So based on the job we're actually talking about, the court might average out what you're making in your overtimes and bonuses or varying income over the course of a year or 6 months or whatever time frame is appropriate. And then basically set a set rate, and that's what you're going to pay in child support going forward, unless you can prove later on that there's been a change in what that averages out to. So in order to change it, you need to show some historical data over the same range. Method number two is a base amount of child support payment. So if you get a base salary and then you get bonuses or overtime on top of that, you might pay child support on a percentage of your base salary with a supplement every month. And this requires the parties to work together. So basically, the person paying the child support would supply pay stubs every month showing what they actually made and give a percentage of that supplemental pay to the recipient of the child support. This is a little less straightforward than the historical average method, and it requires the parties to work together, but it's certainly more accurate, so you get to a more accurate figure. The third method can be used in conjunction with either of the first two methods, and this is called doing a true-up. So the court might take a historical average and have that be the amount that's paid, or do this base amount with a supplement every month, and then periodically order the parties to do a true-up, which means that they'll find out what was paid in child support and what should have been paid according to the actual numbers. And if more was paid than should have been paid, then the obligor for the child support is going to get a credit towards future child support payments. If less was paid than should have been paid, then the obligor is going to have to basically come up with a little bit more money to true up the balance. So the court will use a combination of those methods, or one or two, depending on the circumstances of the parties. And we expect that under the new child support law that'll be in effect in 2017, July 1st, 2017, we expect under that new law that method is going to be used to determine net income for both spouses. And I encourage you, if you're curious about how the law is going to change, check out our article on changes to Illinois child support. We have about 60 comments to the article, and that means about 30 questions that people have asked and 30 answers I've made. So we've gotten really into detail, and we've had a bunch of ancillary articles that I've written, and like this one, based on questions that people have asked. So we've really fleshed out how the new law is going to work. If you'd like to schedule an initial consultation, we have been really making a cottage industry of child support since this article that we wrote has been blowing up and really getting a lot of interest. So we've been very good at handling this type of case. Call me at 630-324-6666. The 630-324-6666. Schedule a free consultation. Go to learn-about-law.com to download videos or podcasts or articles on just about every area of law, and we practice just about every area of law. You can also check out my podcast for business owners at seizeyourbusiness.com and my podcast about real estate at makingrealestatefun.com. I want to thank Tom Weiler from Weiler Studios for doing the video. If you ever need videography, he does a great job. Go to weilerstudios.com, and that's Weiler with a Y. Thanks so much for listening.